All right, it's another day. It's another 40th anniversary. Anniversaries are a good thing as a Kiss fan because it means new product of some description is coming. It may be new old product, so nothing particularly new, just a repackaging of things that were previously released, or it may be something more spectacular. The announcement that we've been waiting for June the 24th was, of course, Asylum 40th anniversary. Putting a keyhole or a colorful color scheme in your video is a little bit of a giveaway, but everyone knew it was coming anyway. I almost feel like we've had the 40th anniversary of Asylum this year with the what I thought was fantastic off the soundboard release. Of course, that was a San Antonio recording from early on in the tour, December 1985. So, while it didn't have any of the super rare songs that obviously we'd love to hear at some point, if anything exists, it was a nice surprise because that show itself had not or not circulated in any form in any way. So, the product that was announced on June the 24th, of course, was simply a continuation of a celebration. For many fans, this doesn't mean anything to you other than perhaps keeping a hole from appearing in the collection of special reissues and picture discs that have been an ongoing labor of obtaining them in the past few years with the limited numbers and the high demand and the scavenging and the sniping and all the negative side of that. It's Asylum. It's a bit of a divisive album for some fans for some reason, though. I don't know why. It's the album that made me a fan. So I'm going to be celebrating my 40th anniversary as a real Kiss fan later this year. Well, I'll never forget the day going down to Kmart in Binghamton, New York, and purchasing both Asylum and Motley Crue's Theater of Pain. And those were really my jumping off point into heavy metal, finally severing the ties with Duran Duran and other stuff that I guess I was listening to prior to that. So let's look at some of the product that's been released, or it's been pre-announced for pre-order. And again, there's an argument of why are VIPs getting advance access to it? Well, when someone pays you $50, you got to give them something. So I think it's a one-day early access to this. And since it's sold out under early access, or in the case of the picture disc, maybe only the number of copies of that picture disc allotted to the VIP presale sold out. We don't know. We do know that often happens is that people will put them in their cart. They'll stay in the cart and drop off the stock, and then the payments don't go through or orders get canceled and whatnot. So stock can sometimes reappear after the fact. And in some cases, magically, the numbers increase again for other reasons. So we'll save the conspiracy theories and just look at the product. And this is just going to be commentary and waffling, which I like to do. So it's been a few hours since my last monologue, so I'm going to hit Kiss Online. And I'm just going to comment on all of this as it comes along on the screen. I love that picture, the new homepage. And it's one of 4 pictures that do show up on the website. So going way back to the beginning as well, you cannot go wrong. 50 years is just the beginning. I like what they're starting to do with Kiss Online. I like the features that are slowly appearing. It's never going to take place on the cadence that a fan site's able to do, because that's just not the nature of an official site. I can throw out my Kiss Crunch Time videos anytime I want, though I do have to write, record, produce, and do all that, but they still have a lot of work that needs to get done in the background. Approvals, which I don't have. There's that picture again. So I'm just going to wait until we get through. And Kiss Army storms Vegas. Yeah, don't forget. All right, picture disc. Here's the post announcing the products. So clicking on the store. Make sure you're logged in. VIP, if you want to be a VIP, be a VIP. Got a t-shirt, got a litho, I gave mine away, and a pin. I like the Accept No Imitations t-shirt. That was a fantastic ad in the magazines back in the day. Limited to 500 units for that. I did not buy one. I don't know what Toledo, March the 28th means on there. Again, it's just a design element. I always like that logo. It's special to me. It may not be to you, and it may not be $60 special. The raglan, very cool. Hey, look at that, all 4 members of the band. I guess things got sorted out. That's awesome. Raglans were cool. I haven't owned one since 1985, and it wasn't the Asylum one back in the day. It was AC/DC Fly on the Wall for me. That's the only one I've ever owned, and I have no intention of, I don't know, I'm kind of tempted. $45? This is hilarious. Just Bruce and Eric. That touche for the criticisms of what happened last time, even though it wasn't the first time that had happened, but how nice of them to do that. That's just a little bit of snark that's right on my level. I saw this t-shirt design getting some heat. I like it. It's fine. There was a design for the Torat that uses that kind of type for the Asylum logo on the back. Again, $40. That's a bit steep for my wallet these days. Guitar and bass. People are like, well, Paul didn't play that on the tour. Well, no, but maybe the BC Rich that he did play, he can't use the design of for legal purposes. Typical Asylum album cover and world tour on the back. Yeah, world tour. I think it went to Canada. Puerto Rico, that's a U.S. territory, so that's not the world. Whatever. Semantics. That is very colorful. I really have no comment on that. Not to my taste. That's not to my taste either, but I look really silly in it. But there we go. There you go. Dedicated t-shirt or tank for females. Or anyone who says. Asylum towel. That's kind of neat. I just don't have any use for it. But again, as a product, yeah, why not? Looks good. Just wish the Asylum logo was in the neon green like original. Guitar pin set. Again, using those 2 guitars that are on the t-shirt, the bass and the V. Whatever. Again, they look good. It's product. Why not? And then back to the old merch that was available. So let's get into the stuff everyone really cares about. The picture disc. Now, I'm not on the fence about this at all. I bought this. The Japanese LP design, I think, is cool. What it looks like they're doing with kind of the offset 3D for one side of the picture disc, fine. Again, I owned this back in the day. 500 units. It's got, what is it? The premium jacket wrapped with silver foil. It has looked so good for every other release that they've done that I think this is the first one I'm actually buying. Let me fact check myself. No, I got Psycho Circus, and then I got rid of it. But this one I will be keeping because it's my first album, so it's special. But it's sold out, so moot point. The regular one, again, comes with a poster, has a bit of a design to it, which I think could look good. I can't wait to see the variation on how those look, especially having seen how some of the unmasked ones came out. So this is limited to 2,500 copies. It's got an embossed jacket. I did not buy this, but I didn't also read that it was embossed. But I think for $70 I can do without. There we go. There's, again, I think it's some pretty decent. It's at least an effort to celebrate Asylum. And for people who poo-poo the album, there's going to be no changing your mind anyway. But for me, this is kind of the last hard rock and real hard rock album. I thought the production was really good. I thought the songs, for the most part, were excellent. But again, because it's so central to my personal history, I am completely biased. And I make no apologies for that. I accept no imitations. Well, we won't go there.